All right, let's jump into our 30-minute COVID segment for today. I don't know how long this will be, but on average, I do about 30 minutes on a COVID segment. And we're going to be talking about some stupid ass motherfuckers today in this COVID segment. So let's jump in. COVID response coordinator, people confused about whether they need updated booster. Also, Max the dog is currently just living his best life. I don't know about it. But look at this. Look at this dog. Max! Are you a dog? So there's Max the dog. Anyway, let's just leave that there while I read this. So we got this stupid ass motherfucker. Dr. Ashish, the White House coronavirus response coordinator, said Americans seem confused about whether they need an updated COVID-19 vaccine booster, urging people to get another shot if it's been 6 months since their last one. Now, I want to remind everyone that even though this dog is adorable and I love him very much, the bivalent COVID booster has been around for 3 or 4 months? Right? If people... Now, it's a two-prong here. Now, again, Ashish, fucking moron. This guy right here, one of the dumbest motherfuckers on planet Earth. That's no question. But I also gotta say, if you're an American and you're confused about the bivalent booster shot, you're a fucking moron. You're a dumbass. You're a fucking idiot. And you're even dumber than this guy. Now, you might be wondering, you might be thinking to yourself, but why? Isn't it the government's fault for keeping people in the dark with bad messaging? Yeah, it's the government's fault. But someone doesn't know about the bivalent... Think about this. How would you be confused about it? Where is the confusion? Like, you go to work every day, no one has said, oh shit, my arm hurts. Do you have friends? Do you have social groups? Like, no one in your social groups has said, oh, got my vaccine appointment next week. Like, seriously, I'm just like, how? Now, again, I know that about 15% of the country got the free, effective, and safe vaccine. It's free, by the way. It's free. Only 15% of the country has gotten a free healthcare. But I mean, like, seriously, how are people confused about this? And again, yes, the government's a problem. No shit. Oh, wow, you figured out the government's the problem. Whoa, well, fucking someone get this motherfucker a Pulitzer. The government is bad. Oh, shit. But why is the government so bad? And why do they take advantage of how dumb Americans are? It's because Americans are pretty fucking stupid. We have free healthcare in this country for the first time ever. Ever. In my lifetime, for sure. Free healthcare. Think about it. It's free. It's free. It's free. I don't know how many times, every time I do one of these COVID segments, I'm astonished. Like, if you would have told me on the Bernie campaign that only 15% of the country would actually go to the doctor if it was free, I would have not wasted my time knocking doors. I would have not wasted my fucking money donating to that campaign. I would have not wasted my fucking time phone banking. If I knew that only 15% of the country would actually go to the doctor if it was free, Jesus fucking Christ, I would have done something else with my goddamn life. But instead, I didn't know that at the time. But again, how is it possible to be confused? There is no confusion, let's be honest. 85% of this country are COVID denial, anti-vax, QAnon nutbags. That's it. Now, again, I don't care if someone has come to QAnon because they like Donald Trump or they like Joe Biden. Either way, they've become a conspiratorial thinker. If you have not gotten your booster shot yet, I don't care. Oh, transportation. Oh, figure it out. Figure it out. If your kid had to go to school and something came up, guess what you would do? You would figure it the fuck out. Now, I get it. It can be difficult. I understand. Right? But again, there is no confusion. Just admit it. You're a QAnon person. Oh, but I'm a liberal. I voted for Joe Biden. Do you wear your mask? If the answer is no, you are no different than the average QAnon person. The same shit. I don't give a fuck how you got there. I don't give a fuck what led you down the conspiratorial rabbit hole. If you have not gotten vaccinated and you don't wear a mask, you are essentially a QAnon nutbag. I don't know what to tell you. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't do it. It's been 4 months. You can't do it? You can't go get free healthcare because it's been 4 months? Oh, I'm sorry, my life is so busy. Really? Oh, wow. I don't know, man. I will be honest with you. I'm not the busiest motherfucker in the world, okay? But if your life is so goddamn busy that you can't get a free vaccine, well, first of all, you're not listening to this video, so I can insult you to the cows come home because you're never going to watch this because you have no time in your life. Like, imagine, like, working so much. By the way, this doesn't happen. Working so much that you don't have time to get a free vaccine. Like, I mean, I'm just like, what excuse could you come up with? Oh, my kids got to go to school. Really? During holiday vacation, your kids have to, like, like, these motherfuckers, man, like, where's the confusion? I'm just saying, there is no confusion, okay? The idea that there's confusion going on, oh, I'm just confused about this. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ, you're confused? You're confused? Like, I don't know, when you're sitting on the toilet, how about you pick out your phone and go, COVID-19 booster shot news? Like, I don't know, what do you mean you're fucking confused? But you know what? I don't blame the stupid-ass motherfucking confused American. The hypothetical confused, ditzy, dumb fuck loser wandering around out there. Why? Because our world is pretty fucking confusing, right? When you go online, you'll find 38 disinformation QAnon websites. So, hey, how did Joe Biden voters become QAnon nutbags? I don't know. Maybe they did their own research. But anyway, let's read the rest of this because it's not, I don't want to just react to the headline here. Ja told ABC's This Week co-anchor Martha Raddatz, sounds like a motherfucking Dragon Ball character here, that people are still, quote, learning about the new COVID vaccine, referring to the bivalent booster that now targets both the original strain and the novel coronavirus and the novel coronavirus and the Omicron variant. Now, again, still learning. Now, again, I know the government's bad, but the government has an incentive to not teach you these things. You might be thinking, what? The government is incentivized to not tell people about free healthcare? Because if people knew that they could just go to the doctor for free right now during this pandemic, they might expect that in other instances. They might expect, oh, I broke my leg. Can I go get free healthcare? So they don't want to tell people. Think about it, though. That's their incentive. They don't want to tell you that it's free. But does that excuse your behavior if you don't know it's free? If you are here at this moment listening to this video in December of 2022 and you have not gotten your bivalent booster shot, you're just dumb. And I don't want anything to do with you. I think, like, now again, if you live in a different country and you're like availability, I'm not talking about that shit. I'm talking about Americans, okay? If you have the option of getting a free vaccine and you choose not to, whatever excuse you want to come up with, oh, my kid's cousin's nephew's bat mitzvah is next weekend, I can't do it. Whatever excuse you want to come up with, right? I don't care. You are no different than a neo-Nazi. You are no different than a QAnon nutbag. You're no different than a wine mom. You're no different than a racist. You're a fucking idiot. You're a genocidal freak. And you're essentially no different than 9/11 hijackers, let's be honest. You want to go outside, get a disease, and kill as many other people, including yourself, as possible. That's a little fucked up. That's psychopathic. That's 85% of Americans, right? So again, we live in a country where the government has never helped us. Can you think about it? When's the last time the government has done fucking anything for us? Remember when they gave us some money that they just stole right away? Like, again, remember this shit? They gave us these stimulus checks. Wow, that was so great. And then they created this fake inflation crisis and stole all of our money right back from us. So good job. So the last time they gave us something, it really was a loan at best, and now we're all in the red because fucking grocery prices have skyrocketed, right? So that essentially means nothing. So we live in a world where the government has done nothing for us. Think about this. Am I the only one that has lived in the world where the government destroyed the economy in 2008? Am I the only one that lives in a world where the government let a virus kill millions of people? Am I the only one that lives in a world where the government invaded countries that didn't even attack us but pretended like they had weapons of mass destruction? Am I the only one that lives in that world? Because how can people that live in this world, aka reality, navigate their lives relying on government messaging in order to take care of themselves? Like, think about this. Anyone who's confused about it, how are you confused? Because you don't look it up. Why don't you look it up? Because you're a suicidal QAnon nutbag. It's that simple. There's no confusion. Either you are a QAnon moron or you're not. It's that simple. Now, again, there are people that have gotten their bivalent vaccine that are fucking stupid as well. That's a whole different category of people. Where we're saying, I'm here to definitively tell you, anybody who has access to the vaccine, free vaccine, it's free, by the way. I don't know if you heard about this. It's free, right? And hasn't gotten it. They are literally effectively no different than the average neo-Nazi, the average QAnon person, the average fascist, the average 9/11 hijacker. They are no different. They are willing to kill themselves, but not just themselves, everyone around them, for no reason. At least, and again, agree or disagree. I happen to disagree. But at least the 9/11 hijackers had a fucking reason. Think about this. Think about this. They had a reason to do what they did, the 9/11 hijackers. I know you might be thinking, whoa, you're going too far. And yes, I am. Now I'm doing it on purpose, so shut the fuck up. The 9/11 hijackers, agree or disagree, and again, I disagree, they had a reason to destroy the World Trade Center. They were thinking God's going to give them virgins and all that other shit, something about America, I don't know. Right? They had a reason. Think about the average American who is effectively a suicide bomber right now with RSV, COVID, the flu, etc., right? Think about that. Do they have a reason? I want to go see my mama on Thanksgiving. Why don't you get vaccinated? Oh, baby, I'm an American. Like, again, agree or disagree, the 9/11 hijackers at least had a reason to do what they did. And they killed less people, by the way. They killed less people. The average American who is unvaccinated and walks around without a mask on has probably got a larger body count than the average 9/11 hijacker. I'm just saying. Hey, I know. Can you believe it? By the way, I'm drinking alcohol right now. Quote, there are still a lot of people that are confused about whether they need one or not. Yeah, they're confused. Ha! Isn't that great? They're confused. Well, we know that 95% of Americans don't eat fiber. What is fiber? It's called vegetables. 95% of Americans don't eat vegetables. Did you know that? Look it up. 95% fiber. Look it up. Pump it into your search engine, right? So the idea that Americans being confused about healthcare, that tracks. Americans are chronically confused. They're so confused, they don't know how to feed themselves. Think about it. 95% of Americans are so confused that they literally do not know how to feed and nourish themselves. This is America. Now again, who am I going to blame here? I could blame the government, absolutely, and I do. But I blame parents. How do we have a whole generation of people who are so fucking chronically confused and apparently busy? They're so fucking busy all the time that they don't know how to fucking feed themselves. I mean, when you think about it, 15% getting the bivalent booster shot, that's pretty good. Because think about it, there's a 10% group of Americans who, one, don't know how to feed themselves because they're fucking stupid, and two, got the bivalent vaccine anyway. So think about that. Next time you think about someone who's complaining about I don't want to get the shot. I hate needles. I got the shot. I've passed out from getting needles before. I don't like needles. You know what I did? I got the shot anyway. I don't like it. It's not my preference, but I do it anyway. Why? Because I care about, ostensibly, I care about my fellow American, but I also care about myself. I don't want to get a disease and die. So I don't know, man. Let's keep going. I know. I'm harping on this, but this is, of course, I haven't done a show in 2 days, so I got to do a 30-minute COVID segment. So just bear with me. Jesus Christ, they're confused. He said, "We're being very clear about this. If you've not gotten a vaccine in the last 6 months, it is essential to go out and get the new updated bivalent." So, okay. We're being very clear about this. Are you? Are you? Now, the government is recently, I don't know if y'all knew this, they've re-upped on the free COVID test delivery via the United States Postal Service. Have you heard this? Did you hear Joe Biden go out there, primetime television, saying everyone gets a free set of tests? No. Why? Because they haven't been very clear. Obviously, they're not being very clear. They're lying. Joe Biden said the pandemic was over, stripped all government funding from pandemic response, ended up firing 80,000 satellite employees with the CDC. That's clear. That's called clarity. I know where Joe Biden stands on COVID. He stands on the same exact Hollywood star that Donald Trump did. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is now recommending bivalent booster shots for children as young as 6 months old. Shah's remark comes as health officials have recorded more than 40% increase in COVID-19 cases and hospitalizations since Thanksgiving. The U.S. is also struggling with a deadly flu season and surge in RSV and other respiratory illness that can be life-threatening for children. By the way, isn't this funny? Like, think about this one. Now, again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm a prophet. I'm not. Right? I'm just some stupid fucking social reject that sits in my fucking home, afraid of the world, and I read the news all day, every day. Honestly, you could say I have a chronic addiction to reading the news. I've been working on that. And so you don't, whatever. But I've been on my show years ago saying Thanksgiving is going to kill people. And here we are again. Year 3, the third Thanksgiving of the pandemic. And people are still going out and quote unquote celebrating and ending up in the hospital a week or two later. Why? And I know, let's be honest. I know I don't like the average American. The average American doesn't like me. So do I really care that Jeffrey in Alabama is getting killed from COVID because they went and celebrated Thanksgiving with the fam? No. Honestly, fuck them. Do I really care that Larry in Massachusetts is sitting on their deathbed because they flew out to Arizona for Thanksgiving dinner? Nah. Fuck that motherfucker. Hope he dies, and I hope it's painful. I don't like Americans. Just to be clear, I don't. I despise Americans. Why? They despise me. Look at their behavior. Why would I want to be friends with these people? Why would I care about these people? But even then, as honest as I'm being, I don't like Americans. I still got vaccinated out of purely selfish reasoning. And that's why, again, this ultimately confuses me, because I have always been aware that Americans are selfish. But this one blows my mind. Americans are willing to fight over, shit like road rage, right? They're willing to fight over and get angry at each other over who gets to the red light first. Americans are willing to argue about pennies and dollars. Americans are willing to fight each other for money. Americans are willing to do a bunch of selfish fucking garbage that gets them nowhere, but they won't take a vaccine. How is this possible? Again, it blows my mind, man. It blows my mind. It really does. And it hurts my brain to think about it. Because, not only, and this is why I've come up with the average American is a suicide bomber metaphor. This is why I've come up with this. Because that's what they are. The average American is not selfish, really. They are hateful. They are negligent. And they want to kill me along with themselves. That's the average American. So I don't know. Maybe I'm a little bit of a paranoid freak. Maybe. I'm willing to say that it's possible. But is it paranoia if every step of the way you've been proven correct? Is that paranoia? Was I paranoid when I said Thanksgiving is going to kill people? Maybe. But now here we are. A month later, Thanksgiving has killed people. Thousands and thousands and thousands of them. Am I still paranoid? I don't know. Is anyone going to listen to me? Nah. Am I going to sit here again in 11 months from now and say the same shit? Yup. And is the same fucking thing going to happen that happened this year and the year before and the year before? You betcha. So with that being said, who wants to take bets on how many dumb fuck motherfucks are going to die this year? And who wants to take bets on how many dumb fuck motherfucks are going to die next year? Because honestly, at this point, I'm cheering for COVID. Fuck it. I've picked a side. I'm on COVID's side. Not for me. I don't want COVID to do anything for me. But you know what? This idea of placing our homicidal instincts onto a virus and hoping that that virus kills our fellow Americans, you know what? Maybe it's not the worst idea. Maybe I will be on Team COVID. Hey, I'm not going to accelerate it. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to sit here in my bedroom and I'm going to watch the show. So, that's my opinion on that one. Let's keep reading this article though, because it's, it's got some more info here. Finish it up. As in previous winters, he said the coronavirus was spreading through the cold and dry air and because more Americans were gathering indoors. Really? Wow. Quote, the good news here is that we can prevent those infections from turning into serious illness if people go out and get their updated bivalent vaccine. That's not going to happen. That's not going to fucking happen. Okay? The good news is, if people didn't jump in the middle of traffic, they wouldn't get hit by cars. Oh, someone just jumped into traffic. Well, what are you going to do? The good news is, if they didn't, they would have still been alive. Wow, that is good news. The good news is, in an alternate universe where people weren't fucking morons, less people would die. Wow, good news. Isn't that great news? We're making the case that we're at the point where it's safe to gather, but you still have things to do. If you don't, now again, this is why people are confused. Look at this fucking shit. Look at this stupid fucking garbage. Okay, we're making the case that we're at the point where it's safe to gather, but you still have things to do. If we don't do these things, obviously things can get much worse. Is COVID real or is it not real? You can't get a straight answer out of the Joe Biden administration. By the way, I'm going to Control F mask in this article. 0 results. 0 results. I Control F mask here. You can check it out. 0 results. Why is that? The COVID response coordinator talking to mainstream press about how to prevent sickness during flu season. No mention of masks. Isn't that weird? I hope this 10-year pandemic is a 5-year pandemic. And I honestly do. And I say this without any irony. And I know I'm a pretty ironical person. But I hope to God that the people who deserve it, and I'm talking about the anti-vaxxers and the anti-maskers, and I don't mean just conservative right-wingers. I mean liberals. I mean Democrats. I mean old people that don't wear masks. I mean young people that don't wear masks. Honestly, and I say this with absolute sincerity, the sooner they die, the better. Because then I can go to a bar again without fearing that I'm going to get a degenerative neurological disease, or my blood's going to clot up, or my immune system is going to fucking crash and burn. You know how cool that would be? To go to a fucking restaurant? That would be cool. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm on team COVID. Let's accelerate this shit. Let's finish the job, and then let's go back outside. Because there's obviously no other answer. Americans are animals. But they're not like cool animals like dogs. They're like crazy animals like hippos. Now again, much love to the hippo community, but those motherfuckers are crazy. That's like you know, like you ever look at the deadliest animal charts? Hippos. Right? Those motherfuckers will fuck you up. Why? Because they're fucking crazy. So as far as I'm concerned, right, let's get rid of them. Fuck them. This is, as far as where I'm at right now, this is good news. Americans are confused. Great. The sooner their confusion meets its ultimate end, the better. So anyway, shout outs to Thanksgiving, everyone. I hope you had a good time. Hope everyone had a great time at Thanksgiving. Woo! Don't you just love Thanksgiving? Yeah, we're going to go and we're going to eat a bunch of garbage food that's overpriced. There's going to be a shitload of leftovers because everyone makes too much food. No one's going to eat the fucking leftovers. And if they do, it's going to be unhealthy fucking garbage. Everyone's going to douse their shit with ketchup and talk about stupid ass garbage. Don't you love Thanksgiving? Yes, I'm here for it. I love it. Yeah. Anyway, so there's your 30-minute COVID segment. Needless to say, I am not a fan of the world.